I'm just reading some of the things off to the side here.
SS,
for example, SS wants to know, how do I tell when I'm drunk? 2 had a lot to drink already. The best way is get in your car and drive around. And if you get pulled over, and you get arrested for being drunk, that's how you know for sure.
That's how you know.
Yeah, that's how. I do not advise that. But yeah.
That's a good one. I think just stand up real fast.
Stand up, lean to the left, lean to the right, stand up, sit down, fight.
Yeah, give yourself a little test.
A little homebrew field sobriety test.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
That's a great idea.
Yeah. Say the ABCs backwards.
Omitting
that sober.
Omitting the vowels. And sign as you're doing it.
Yeah.
Hey everybody, this is Matt. We're at Texas Toast Guitars. It's the 4th of July. Happy Independence Day to all the people who live in the United States. And 4th of July is a little bit like Cinco de Mayo. Everybody is an American on 4th of July. So yeah. So if you don't live in America, you can still have a good time today.
There you can.
And you can still drink Coors beer.
You can. The finest beer America has ever made.
Yeah. So, Chris, how are you on 4th of July?
I'm good. I'm glad that the 4th of July fell on the 4th this year.
Mm-hmm. It usually does.
Yeah.
But not always.
Not always. Yeah. So I'm happy about that.
Did you wear your most American shirt that you had? I did. This is the most American shirt I have, I think.
Yeah. I was going to wear, I'd have worn my Evel Knievel shirt if I was, looking to throw some American.
So you don't like, well, 4th of July is a good day to have America shirt, not the band. Although that would be fine too, but
your shirt says America's Choices. So
oh, that's true. It has the word America.
I'm wearing my most American shirt as well.
Okay,
it's a rifle shirt.
That's right.
Yeah,
from our friend Jim at formerly of Rifle Dynamics, now of Fuller Phoenix. So yeah. Oh man, dude, you came into the shop early. You were here before me today, which never happens on a Sunday, ever. What's the big idea?
I had projects I needed to do.
Like you had to fix your carburetor?
No.
Your alternator?
No.
What'd you have to do?
No, I was building guitar bodies for orders that I took months and months and months ago.
Well, and sometimes things happen, and
sometimes things happen, and you still got to do them. So
was it the Marauder body that kind of reminded you that you need, because we finished the Marauder the other day?
No, it was the guys that ordered them reminding me.
Oh, okay.
Online.
Okay.
Hey, what's going on with it? Yeah. Cool. Right. Oh yeah, it has been lots of time.
I don't know. I think we need to move this so maybe we can hear Mrs. Toast a little bit.
Yeah,
if she. True. I don't know. I'm not sure if you guys can hear her or not. So
that's perfect right there. Because I can talk loud like Matt.
You can, not like me. You wish. You wish you could talk loud like me.
Yeah.
You wish you were deaf like I am, or whatever reason I talk loud. So yeah.
I think you've always talked loud though.
Yeah, I think I have.
Even as a youth.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So yeah.
So I came in today, and you and I worked on a couple of projects, and we've got some neat stuff happening in the shop today. Sundays are kind of like they're not really work days, but they're days when I do come in on Sunday to work. I try to work on kind of special projects. So this weekend, actually, I worked on the Carved Top Challengers that we're doing a run of. And I had to catch up on a bunch of emails, and I still am not done yet. But I did some of that. Did you know? So somebody asked me on a YouTube video, they're like, hey, when's your next class? And I thought, well, I can answer the question that you asked, or I can answer the question that you want to know the answer to. The next class is in this month, July 19th. But the next class that we have an opening for is September.
Oh, is there still space?
There are 2 spaces for September.
And September is what class?
Build a Classic Set Neck.
Okay. So that's a wood
It's a wood
intensive
centric. Yeah.
class. No finish, no assembly.
No, but you
But
show
all
up
wood.
and it's there. You start with a block of wood.
We go out, we chop down a tree.
We don't do that.
Okay.
But you and I were talking about this because someone said, "Hey, can I make a blah 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 blah?" And I'm like, "Well, you need to do that and build a classic set neck."
Uh-huh.
But even though what you're wanting to do is not a set neck,
Uh-huh.
and so then we thought maybe a cool class would be build a classic bolt on,
Uh-huh.
just a wood, the wood portion of
Yeah.
that. So I think that would be a cool thing that we'll add for next year.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that would be a fun
Mhm.
way to go about it.
So you just show up and there's a big pile of lumber and you
Mhm.
have to turn. So when you come for like build a classic telly, some of this stuff is already done.
Yeah.
Just because we have all 5 days, but we only have 5 days.
Yeah, and there's a day of assembly and there's
Yeah.
a day
Glue
of
has to set
yeah,
up. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Uh-huh. Cool.
I just
And
posted a link to the class page.
oh, perfect. Yeah. So so we're almost sold out for this year. And I am going to start. You and I have talked a lot about what we want to do for 2022,
Mhm.
because frankly, people are going to probably go, well, I need some time to do this. I need some advance notice of when the class is going to be and sign up early. We're going to do things a little differently next year. You'll be able to pay a deposit rather than have to pay the whole thing, which will be cool. And prices will go up for 2022. But if you sign up this year, they're going to be 2021 prices. Okay. So anyway, so watch for that. I'll send out a thing and it'll be a big deal and I'll talk about it a lot. What I think that I like make you really uncomfortable.
No.
Why? What's the?
No, I was just thinking. Well,
I just want you to be
works
happy.
That works out perfect. That in 2021 the prices are 2021 prices.
2022. See, you should chime in like that rather than just make me feel like I'm like a weirdo.
No.
Don't you always feel like a weirdo?
No, Chris has this power where
Sorry.
he's like, he'll like look at me and like kind of give me that sideways grin, and I'm like, oh, okay, I'm an idiot, but Chris isn't going to tell me why this
No.
time. So
No, I like the
just want you to be
alliteration
happy.
of 2021 prices in 2021.
that's true.
that works out really well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just want you to be happy on Independence Day.
I'm
For
super.
one day of the year, I want
One
you
day.
to be,
This is
if you're going to be happy one day, I want it to be today or Cridman.
Goodman. Yeah.
Yeah, I just want you to be happy, Chris.
Thanks.
A lot of people don't do this, but I cherish every single day that I get to come in and work here at the shop with you. And you too, Mrs. Toast. I love everything about everything that you and I do. I think it's really, really awesome. So yeah, so thank you both for being in my life. Now I've made them
It's not
uncomfortable.
Thanksgiving, it's Independence Day.
That's okay. Doesn't matter. Independence Day is an important day. Okay. So we're going to talk about a lot of things today, kind of America-centric things. So we want to talk about see, now you did it again. What?
Because I'm looking over at the big board. We
Yeah.
have a board
We
right
do.
over there,
Uh-huh.
and it has talking points on it.
Yeah.
And one of them is really funny.
So we
Because
can,
you asked me earlier, what did I want to talk about? And I said I want to talk about why America's so great.
yeah.
And then I said, "Suck it, Brazil," or something to that effect.
I think you
I
said
think Portugal
Portugal or something.
Peru. It was Peru.
Or
'Cause I can't-
Paraguay or Uruguay.
It was, I get those two confused, so I don't want to. I
think
don't want
you
to
said
irritate either one. It's
Solomon
Peru.
Islands.
Yeah, so the Solomon Islands, can get bent.
Wasn't it Prussia? I don't think that's a thing anymore.
Yeah,
Maybe, yeah.
yeah. Constantinople.
SS sent us a super chat that says, "Thank you, Matt and Chris, for sharing that very special moment with you fine gentlemen. You're drunk. You need to send us more money, you drunk guy." I love that guy. That dude's hilarious. SS is funny, man.
It was very touching.
Well, it's important to, you have to tell people that stuff because one day you won't be able to. So anyway, I was watching Ben Crow had a live stream today.
Oh, was it live?
Yeah, I believe
Okay.
so. And he was taking a clubbing. And there's something about like voting
Really?
or something. And I kind of felt bad for Ben.
Yeah.
And I had to spring forth and
Uh-huh.
and say, hey guys, ease up on Ben, because if he is just now becoming aware of this problem with whatever it is, and I don't know, it's some voting thing where you can vote multiple times instead of. I'm not sure how. I don't know how it's supposed
It's
to
like
work.
American Idol.
I don't know. I don't know how it's supposed to work, and I don't
Early
know
vote
what it's doing incorrectly. But apparently there's an issue. And so Ben's like, well, I didn't know anything about it until now. And I'm like, and so these guys are like, hey, you need to get back to me ASAP on that. And I'm thinking, do you think that Ben is just going to like fix this during the live stream while you wait? Like
And
he
Ben's-
knows about it.
Ben's probably not the guy that's actually going to fix it.
No. So yeah, ease up a little bit. Of all the things we can give Ben grief about, he doesn't. I think that there's a disconnect there. Ben is the face behind Crimson, but he's not the only guy there.
No.
So like you and I, we're the only ones here.
Yeah.
Hello.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Toast is here too,
Yeah.
but if you come in on a Monday afternoon, it's going to be Chris and myself.
Yep.
And that's it. There's no person working the
No Reginald.
no
Simon.
Simon,
No Donnie.
no Adrian, no, none of those guys. No Vivian,
Lance.
none of those guys. So, and I'm
I
not
think
sure.
Lance is a very English name.
Well, I don't know, but yeah, but Crimson is a big company.
And I'm
Right.
sure they have a crack IT team
Yeah.
working on it already.
They have a staff, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, so
the other thing
Nigel.
about that, Nigel, yeah, from Squatney, right? Yeah. Ben doesn't know anybody anything.
no, I don't, and I don't even know like what do you win if you win the Great Guitar Build?
Right.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
Yeah. But I mean, Ben puts forth all of this effort and all this time and gives it to people free for their perusal.
Mm.
And so you can't hardly be
however,
pissed off
I
at him.
think you had to pay to get into Great Guitar Build Off this year. I think there was an entry fee, $20 or something. I'm not sure. 20
for all
pounds.
okay.
I think.
For all yeah, that may be true. Yeah,
I don't know.
But,
I don't know.
But and I'm not talking about guys in the contest. I'm talking about other people, just viewers getting irritated and angry with him. And I don't know. I'm just making stuff up here.
We did, well,
I
yeah,
don't know
you
what
weren't
you're
watching
talking
the thing,
about.
so you don't.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah. Cut the man some slack.
I mean, give him a little bit of slack on this one.
Yeah.
But one of the things I wanted to talk about today was what I think and what you think the Great Guitar Build Off should be or could be next year.
Mm-hmm.
Now, have you had a chance to think about this at all?
Mm-hmm.
Because I've thought about it a little bit today myself.
Okay.
So here's what I think. Or do you want to go first? Or you want me to go first?
No, go ahead.
Okay. I think 2022, let me see if Chris is smiling at me, make sure I got it right.
Uh-huh.
Next year, 2022, there should be whatever Ben did this year and whatever he's planning on doing next year, and that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But I think what it ought to become is the Great American Guitar Build-Off. And what I think should happen, remember we did this a couple years ago. It was just me ranting.
Mm-hmm.
What I think should happen is I should come up with all the rules this time. And I should come up with all the judges this time.
Uh-huh.
And so here's who I would like to get to judge the thing. First of all, what I would like to do is have it coincide with the Winter NAMM show.
Okay.
So it would probably have to be a couple years.
So we actually talked about this.
And the reason that I think it should happen like that is because all these industry types will be there anyway.
Right.
So, like, for example, it would be tricky to go, hey, on July 17th, we need to get Grover Jackson and Seymour Duncan and Paul Reed Smith and insert name of a bunch of other judging panel potential guys here, all to be on the same room at this. Well, if you did it at the NAMM show, they're already going to be there.
Chances are, yeah,
Yeah.
at some point during the weekend.
You would have your pick of all these guys. And if one guy said no, I'm sure you could get a panel of guys to say yes.
Mm-hmm.
Further into that end, you could have all the guitars there at the show. For somebody in the Jamie Gale's boutique guitar traveling.
Yeah, there's
Roadshow
nothing
or
more
whatever.
boutique than
Nope.
these guitars.
And
That's
everybody
exactly where
at
they
the
go.
show. And so that's how people could vote
Mhm.
for the guitar at the NAMM show.
Mhm.
You could vote online.
Mhm.
You could buy the guitars at the NAMM show. You wouldn't need an auction thing. And you could have a panel of expert professional judges who are already there anyway to sort it out. So now I don't know how to make that happen. If you guys know how to make that happen, and I'm sure here's you know why I don't know how to make that happen? Because it takes biggest buckets to do that, I bet. So, and I do not have biggest buckets to throw at a project like this. But what do you think about that, Chris?
I think it's a great idea.
What would you do in addition or differently?
This is going to sound bad.
That's okay. Let it fly.
I'd get guitar builders.
Ooh, okay.
Or more guitar builders.
Yeah, so less YouTube personalities.
YouTube, yeah. More guys that, because at the end, it's all about building a guitar.
Now, are we talking about what has been called the Invitational?
Yes.
So this is not like whatever you make at home. I don't know how to work that, but yeah.
I have really one idea for that, and that is it's too many videos.
There's a lot.
You have to make one video. It can be 30 minutes max, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
You can show all the stuff.
That's a long time.
It's a long time.
Yeah, but that's the max.
Yeah.
But not if you're doing a review of an entire build.
Yeah.
That's not very long at all. But anyway.
And the reason I want to call it the Great American Guitar Build is Great Guitar Build Off is already taken.
Brad said make guitar build offs American again.
Ooh.
Yeah. Well, it's like they have
I think it was Brad.
America's Got Talent. You know what they call that show in England? Not America's Got Talent.
Yeah, they call it England's Got Talent or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. And so you could.
What they call Gilligan's Island in Britain?
Gilligan's Island, right?
They call 7 Yanks crashed a boat, didn't they?
Yeah.
I don't know what they call it.
Good riddance.
Yeah.
I was thinking about Gilligan's Island the other day, and I'm not so sure that if not for the
courage of the fearless crew
of the fearless crew, the minnow would be. I'm pretty sure it's because of the crew
of the incompetence.
The minnow was lost because the incompetence. Yeah, they could work a boat, but they can't work an island. Further
into that end, the minnow was lost.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't seaworthy again.
Correct. The other thing that I'm wondering about is, Professor taking that cruise. Sure. Marianne. Yeah.
Have a good time.
The Howells.
They had their own luxury yacht, I'm sure.
They had at least one. Yep.
Yeah.
And then here's the thing. The professor figured out how to fill a fucking cavity, but he couldn't patch a hole in the goddamn
I know.
boat.
I can't explain it. I can't explain
it.
Well,
they actually talked about that in a few of the early episodes. And then I guess tide came in and washed the boat out.
Dang it.
That's when they got screwed.
If you guys have any ideas about what I think should happen with the Great American Guitar Build off, Great American Build Up, Beat Off, I don't know what you want to call it, but and what my thoughts are, or if you want to try to make it a reality, if you've got any juice with Jamie Gale at the Boutique Guitar Showcase, that's what it is, right? Mm-hmm. Or any of those other things, let me know. Let's see if we can't make something happen. I think that would be way too much fun. Oh, you could even have like celebrities. You could have like the Weasel Zappa be a judge. Remember we saw him.
We saw him. Michael Anthony.
You could have Lita Ford. You could have that hot broad who was in that one band. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, you can have all that stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Hot broad in that one.
There was some. There was
Vixen?
Rudy Sarzo.
Rudy Sarzo
was there.
Yeah. No, but we saw like there was this line of people to see this porno star or something at some booth. I'm like, geez, what is some smoking hot chick? I don't know who it was, but I'm 50 years old. I don't know. Yeah, I think that's probably what it is.
Nita Strauss.
Who's that?
From Alice Cooper.
So yeah, you could get her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I don't know if is she smoking hot? Okay, yeah. I just looked, from like we couldn't exactly get close, so I'm like, who is this? Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, we get Joe Bonamassa.
They're gonna be there. So yeah, it's silly to not take advantage of that.
So you're gonna go to NAMM again?
Well, no, I'm just saying that the Great American Guitar Build ought to be judged at the NAMM show. I'm not saying that I have to do it.
I think cash is king. Whoever gets the most money for their build is the winner.
Well, I think you could do a number of different things, and if if you're so smart, start your own guitar build off. I think is what I'm hearing.
That's awesome.
So yeah,
Use SS. That's a shirt. If you're so smart, start your own guitar build off.
start your own guitar challenge. Yeah, the Great American Guitar. Well, whatever.
Yeah, Great American. Well, so that's what we originally called it.
We did.
Great American.
Yeah, Great
Guitar
American Guitar Build Off, or
But then
something
you,
like
then
that.
you
Oh, okay.
volleyed it into
And then
Ben's court.
it turned
Okay.
into a worldwide contest.
Yeah,
And so it's just it's tough to do.
I'd like to know what you guys think. And
we could have outside competitors. We could have
well,
Canada.
sure. I mean,
We
you
could
can.
have England.
It-
It's
yeah.
just a matter of getting their
It's
guitar
America.
over
I mean,
here.
there's North America, there's
But-
Central America, there's and don't forget the 51st state, Canada.
I think that Ben is trying to get the World Cup of guitar building.
Yes, I think that's what's going on.
And what I'm talking about is the Super Bowl. Way more pageantry. Oh, I'm sorry. What I'm talking about is WrestleMania. That's what I'm talking about. I bet you Ben doesn't watch very much American wrestling. Speaking of things that are underrated and overrated, I want to talk a little bit about, I'm going to switch gears a little bit.
Okay.
From guitars to American cuisine, because
Okay.
it's Independence Day.
Uh-huh.
It's a celebration of all things America.
Mhm.
It has come to my attention. Well, it's something that I've been thinking about a lot lately. There are a lot of regional foods, and
Uh-huh.
that I think some are overrated and some are underrated.
Mhm.
Now, we have the luxury of having Mrs. Toast here, who could who could school us into why New York pizza is better. But what I want, so I'm going to put a couple of ground rules out here. You can't just say, well, that's overrated because it sucks. You have to actually say why it's overrated.
Okay.
Okay. And I suppose that if you say, I think it sucks, then that's fine. But we have to take that with, okay.
Why does
you
it
might
suck?
just,
Too much cheese, not enough cheese.
sure, whatever.
The wrong kind of cheese.
Yeah. And
This is
try
already
to
very
keep it
cheese-centric for
civil.
me.
Oh, I can go in great detail.
I know,
as
but
to
I've
why
noticed how I
pizza
said
sucks.
try to keep it civil. So that's going to be the one
All right, I'm ready to play.
sticky where. Oh, right. So Chris, what do you think
Pass.
is Chris? Let's talk about what do you think is an overrated regional food, or let's just say an overrated American food?
Philly cheese steaks.
Okay,
Is that a good answer?
I'm sure. You know what? It can be whatever you want. Why do
Okay.
you think that is?
I don't know that I've ever had a really truly good one.
The
It's-
best,
Okay.
the best one I'm sure you've ever had is at Jake's.
Yeah, and it was only okay.
It's kind of a greasy thing.
It's a greasy, bready thing. There's a lot of bread. There's
Okay.
probably too much cheese.
The
It
bread
might be
actually-
the wrong cheese, and it's just I'm not unless it's something wildly different in Philly.
Okay.
I'm just not a fan.
No,
Controversial.
They got
and
good Philly cheese.
this is a controversial thing for you to say, and you will no doubt alienate people who like Philly cheesesteaks
Uh-huh.
and people from the area who that's their go-to
Yeah,
thing.
you haven't had a good
Yeah.
good Philly cheese steak.
Well, and then they do get the Amorosa rolls from the Philly bakery, and you got it with the provolone. Which
Well, but
is-
we're talking about why
Right,
it's
yeah,
not
that's
all right.
what
So
I'm
if,
saying.
so if that
Carrie Ann
is
is
a
making
very
a-
so if that is a very very Philly cheesesteak, I don't like Philly
you're
cheesesteak.
sticking with your guns. They're overrated.
traditionally it's cheese whiz, but I like it with the provolone. I just wanted to defend your
Mrs. Toast, do
your
you want to?
objection.
Mrs. Toast,
Okay.
do you have something that you think is an overrated American food, or do you want me to go?
You go.
All right. I'm going to do something very controversial, and I'm going to offend everybody.
Mhm.
Any fast food hamburger. Now, and the reason I say
Overrated?
this, yes, and the
Okay.
reason I say this is because I see this stuff all the time. In-N-Out Burger is the best burger in the world. Steak and Shake is the best burger in the world. And I'm going to have to turn in my Texas card here.
Yeah.
Whataburger is the best hamburger in the world. And I've had all these burgers, and I'm like, well, it's just a burger. It's not. It's just there's nothing
Yeah.
outrageously awesome about any of them. They're just fast food burgers, and they all are a little different. But in the pantheon of wonderful meat in between bread. Any of those does not even in the top 25. You know what I mean? So yeah. So what do you think about that?
Well, you've never had a real White Castle.
Yeah, see, here we go. I know I have.
A real one?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
From a White Castle, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's okay. It's a White Castle. Yeah. Whoop-de-doo.
All right then.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Mrs. Toast, do you have one?
Chicago or Pizza Hut pizza,
Okay, why is that?
because it's like cheese and sauce on a matzo cracker,
Okay.
and then it's stuffed crust shit. Don't get me started.
Okay, so Mrs. Toast is going for the another good staple of argument for food
Mhm.
in the United States is pizza. Obviously, that's a big one. So, how about you, Chris? What do you think is an underrated American cuisine, or what's one of your favorite places that you like to go to, or what's one of your favorite things that you like to get?
Underrated? I don't know. Breakfast burritos
Ooh, that's a good one.
are really underrated. I can't believe how much good food you can get for like $3.50.
That is a great one, actually, because there are some killer breakfast burrito places right around the shop.
So
That's an excellent
So
one.
the other day, I was like, we got breakfast burritos,
Mhm.
and then the next day I was like, I didn't feel like eating at home. So on the drive in, I stopped at McDonald's and I spent $7
For not very good.
for a shitty sandwich and a shitty hash brown and a marginal coffee. And now the coffee shouldn't count because the breakfast burrito doesn't come with coffee. But
Yeah,
as soon as I started eating it, I'm like, I should have just gone and got another burrito.
you're right. The place where you and I go for breakfast burritos is really outstanding.
Yeah.
And you're right. For $3, you get a gigantic thing here. It's a ton of food.
Yeah, they're $3.05.
Yeah.
They're $3.30 with tax.
Yeah.
It's $6.62 for 2 burritos.
Yeah.
And they're really, really good.
And Monday and Wednesday they have buy one breakfast burrito, get a free breakfast burrito, right?
And we're not going to be Wednesday.
Well, we're doing
Wednesday
it
breakfast
yeah.
burritos.
Yeah,
But
that's a great one, man. I don't even know that's such a good one that I don't even know. What do you? Yes, man. We have another super chat here. Andy Mandiak says garbage plate.
I'm assuming it's about the McDonald's breakfast. I don't know.
Maybe I'm not sure.
Because we got to go to
No,
outer
I think
space.
he's talking about there are places that do something called a garbage plate. Ike's talked about it.
Is that like
that is?
bunch of everything
It's a bunch
on a
of
plate?
everything, yeah, and then I think you cover it in gravy or green chili or something like that. He'll have
Okay.
to fill us in because I don't remember exactly
Yeah, I'm
what
not.
it is.
I'm not sure what that
but
is.
Ike was talking about it, and he was like, "Oh man, it's the best." It sounds, it's called garbage.
Yeah,
But,
well, oh yeah.
but yeah.
Mrs. Toast, do you have one? I don't think I have
Underrated?
one that
I'm
or
torn.
something that you really like.
I'm torn
Okay.
between disco fries and Taylor ham.
For those of us for those watching who may not know what disco fries or Taylor ham is, what is that?
Well, the disco fries are French fries with brown gravy
Okay.
and cheese on them.
Okay.
And Taylor ham.
Would they call that poutine in Canada?
I don't know.
I think they would.
They call it poontang
No, they
in
do not.
Lower Alabama.
Lower Alabama. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
And
And
the
what was
Taylor
second
ham.
one? Taylor ham.
Taylor
is,
ham. Yes, it's not actually ham, but it is pork made by a man
It's-
with last name
it's
Taylor.
Bologna,
and
isn't
was-
it?
No, and it's not like spam. It's
Okay.
it's just some deliciousness, and I don't want to know what's in it because I like it, kind of like hot dogs.
Yeah.
hmm Yeah.
Yeah. There's if you really think about food, hot dogs isn't any worse or grosser than anything else.
Okay.
I don't think, as far as you eat animal thigh. Oh my god. It's just a different part of that. Yeah.
Food
Ugh.
is one of those things that divides so many people.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if anyone is overseas and planning on coming to the United States in 2022 to attend a class here at Texas Toast Guitars, we will be very happy to point you in the direction of some great breakfast burrito plate. Yes, ma'am.
This is
Yeah.
not regional. This is national.
Okay.
Underrated food, fruity Pebbles.
Oh,
Boom.
okay. I'm not sure that, but if you say so, that's
I can eat
That's
a
a
box
terrific
of those
one.
things
Okay.
in a sitting.
God, it's
Wow.
good.
Yeah. So my buddy Craig brought over some what he called reindeer dogs yesterday from
Mhm.
Alaska, and a friend of his sent them or brought them down with them.
Now, have we ever figured out if they actually have reindeer in
Well,
Alaska?
that was the part of the story that I was getting
Okay,
to.
all right.
Is he's like, well, really, it's just caribou, and I'm assuming that because he's a hunter, and so
Okay.
I figure
Craig is?
the person that he got it from is also a hunter or knows a hunter,
Okay.
and that's how they procured this. And he says, really, it's caribou, but they're calling it reindeer dog. And you were like, well, no, it's not a reindeer then. It's caribou. And I'm like,
as I was saying that, I'm like, God, I sound just like my wife. I'm like belly aching.
just-
Reindeer
yeah.
and caribou are supposed to be the same thing.
I don't think that's
I'm gonna
true.
look it up.
look it up.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah. Either way, it was the casing was a little tough,
Right.
but
Okay.
it was good. So
Speaking of, I think that Biker Jim's Hot Dogs here in Denver is a great place. I love
Mhm.
that place, and I don't care if Jimmy doesn't like it. As soon as I have one of his King Dog things that he's
Yeah.
talking about, then I might change my mind. But
there's talk of that happening, right?
yes,
Yeah.
yes, ma'am.
I've consulted the Oracle,
All right,
and Google says reindeer and caribou are the same animal.
all right. Well, there you go.
Well,
I
there you go.
stand corrected.
So I had reindeer and caribou
All mixed together with a
Sweet.
bunch of pork, probably.
Maybe
Fat.
I don't know.
I would imagine caribou and reindeer are probably fairly lean. Don't make very good sausage
Yeah.
unless you add a bunch of pork. I know that
Maybe.
elk is like that.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know. It was had a little spice to it,
Okay.
so there was something else mixed in there.
Mm.
Yeah.
All right.
It was
Fennel.
Hey. Yeah.
That's the sausage bit right there. All right. Yes, ma'am.
Driddle wants to know, what about Jack in the Box tacos?
Oh, the
as an
Jack in the
underrated- as an
Box
underrated
taco. Man, that has the distinction of being underrated until you're done eating
and then overrated.
them. And then
Then, overdone.
Yes. So, okay, that's a great
How
one.
many
A pleasure of mine,
can you eat?
a guilty pleasure of mine
Uh-huh.
is the Jack in the Box taco.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sure what it is, but I think it's in a corn tortilla.
Yeah. They half fry a corn tortilla.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's got meat. It might have some beans.
It's got
in
a
there.
non-toxic meat style.
Uh-huh. I kind of
Cootie.
think that's what they grind up burgers that haven't sold.
I have heard that it actually comes like frozen like that,
Okay, it probably does.
and
yeah.
and it's like this poot of
Yeah.
stuff.
When I was a kid, I worked at
Oops.
Dairy Queen, and they had barbecued beef
Mm-hmm.
and chili, and it came in a gallon carton, like a milk.
Oh, like a
carton,
milk carton, sure.
Only it was probably 2 gallons, and it was bigger. It was square.
Okay.
Yeah, and you'd pop it open and scoop it out and throw it in the
Yeah, the
in
heating thing. Yeah.
in the double boiler there.
How many Jack in the Box tacos did Monkey eat that time? It was like 12.
Yeah, I think it was 12. Yeah, that's
13.
the number that comes to my mind.
It
right
was a
off the
lot
bat.
of them. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
No human being should eat 12 of them, no matter how good they taste.
Yeah, and he was happy to go the whole time. I think he finished off
He went the
what we had.
distance. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
But Jack
right.
in the Box tacos.
Well, I would like to know what you guys think is the most overrated and the most underrated foods in the United States. And
So what is Colorado known for?
breakfast burritos.
Mexican food. It used to be Mexico.
Sure.
You know? Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Remember, we had that one place that had like, if you can eat this giant breakfast burrito, you get a free
Was that
breakfast.
Jack's?
Jack and Grill.
Jack and Grill,
Jack and Grill.
7-pound burrito.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
It's a pizza place. There's a bunch of those. Yeah. I think maybe some buffalo or something like that might be something that we're known for.
I don't think there's very many
Here.
bison in Colorado. I think you have to go to Montana or Wyoming to get
I
that.
think there's guys that raise it here
Okay. All right.
for the express purpose of making them delicious
Of
birds.
meats.
All right.
Mhm.
Cool. All right. Let's switch back to guitars now.
Okay.
That'll be fun.
That'll be fun.
So, Chris, why do you think that American guitars are better than any other guitars made anywhere else in the world?
Because Americans made them.
Usually it's Mexican guys who live in the United States made them.
Well, yeah.
Like BC Rich and Fender and all those guys.
Yeah.
Did you know that there are whole villages of people in Mexico that like they only make this one thing? So like there's a village and they make guitars, and there's a village and they make I don't know what it is. Yeah, wagon wheels, whatever it is. I don't know. So anyway, Mexico has
Fruity
a
Pebbles.
long tradition of guitar making. They know what's up.
Yeah. I think one of the reasons that we think that American guitars are better is because in a lot of ways we invented rock and roll, and
in every way. Let's really jam it.
Yes. Yeah.
Let's really stick it.
Ugly American it
all
the way.
We invented music.
We invented rock and roll music, and we invented rock and roll music using American guitars.
Yes.
And so those two are forever linked, and that's the reason.
Okay.
And
I think you're right.
And I think there was a lot of innovation in the world of guitars that started with American guitars, not just electric guitars, but steel string guitars. And while everybody else was playing with catgut, some dudes at Martin decided that they were going to use steel. And
Greg Pearl says he was gifted a whole box of frozen Jack Off in the Box tacos a few years ago, and he ate them all over the course of a few weeks. If Ian were there, he'd eat them all over the course of a few hours.
Way to go, Greg!
Yeah. Okay, so what other guitar companies? What other notable guitar company builder things like that in the 50s were there? Because you could say that, well, the guys in Japan make awesome stuff, no doubt about it. But but
that
they're
seems
just
like a slightly later thing.
That's
definitely a post-war kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Well, so you've got a lot of German builders. You got Hohner and Hofner and Hupnier and Hop and I'm just making notes now. And then you've got some English builders, Burns.
Who plays a Burns?
The Shadows did for a while.
Okay.
You've got, but
did they play something before that or after that was different?
They played Fenders before that.
So they went from Fender to Burns because Burns were so awesome.
Because Burns was willing to pay them a bunch of money.
Okay.
Yeah, they had their own model.
Remember that like factory tour of the was it the Burns guitar?
Burns,
and they're like
awesome
painting and like just sticking it in the corner and
they'd lean it up against the wall and spray it. And the guy was using like a pin router with like a
1-inch
3/4
cutter,
blade, and just doing the
it,
whole thing all at once. So and they all had white coats on, like they were doctors or butchers. You decide which.
You get to decide. Yeah. Have you ever played a Burns guitar?
I have seen a few Burns guitars. Burns was famously bought out by Baldwin later on.
Okay.
And those guitars are mass-produced junk.
I
don't know about the original Burns guitars, but the Baldwins, I've seen 2 of them.
Okay.
And you watch that video, it's like, oh shit.
I think that when it comes to electric guitars, there are 2 guitars against which all others should be judged, and against which all others are judged.
Yeah.
And that is the Fender Stratocaster and the Gibson Les Paul. Now, there's you hear that? What about Telecaster? What about the The fact of the matter is that when most people hear the words electric guitar, they think of those 2 things.
Yeah.
And furthermore, every guitar that is made is a version of those 2 things.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
So like the SG is a version of the Les Paul. And the Ibanez RD or whatever it is a version of what you know.
Sure. Yeah. And I think part of that whole allure is, like the Beatles all wanted to play American guitars because that's where the music came from. And, they all tell stories about, when Buddy Holly came over and toured in 57 or 58, we all wanted to go and see him and see the guitar, see that Stratocaster, because they couldn't get them there. They couldn't get any American guitars there, so they were stuck with German stuff and you know, in English. I don't think there was any English guitars at that point, and so they all just lusted after dream guitars. After American guitars, and as soon as they were able to get that stuff, you know, Rory Gallagher found a used Stratocaster in a pawn shop in England, and I think George Harrison was on the prowl for that same guitar, and Rory bought it from under him, and just, you know, all this crazy shit. I think that's the story.
It's funny. But 9 times out of 10, when you think of like insert name of world famous guitar player in the last 70 years, you can picture them with the guitar that they play.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's usually an American guitar.
Correct.
So let's pick like some artists at random, and I'll say them, and you tell me what guitar that you think that they're most famous for playing.
Okay.
All right, ready?
Pass.
Oh. Okay. All right. Jimi Hendrix.
Stratocaster.
All right. Jimmy Page.
Les Paul.
Okay. Jeff Beck.
Stratocaster.
Okay.
Although Telecaster early on.
Okay. Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Stratocaster.
Angus Young.
SG.
Joe Bonamassa.
All of the above.
Aaron Claflin.
Aaron Claflin. Stratocaster.
Okay.
Or SG.
Okay. Well, all right. I think that's a good. Oh, you know, so there's one that I left out purposely, and I left out Eddie Van Halen because he's known for playing a guitar that he built, which is basically a Strat.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah. And you know who's cooler than all of those guys put together?
No.
Bo Diddley.
Oh.
And of course, Bo Diddley really danced to the beat of his own drummer.
He did.
And played. Well, I guess didn't you say that's a guy who used to work at Gretsch made all that stuff?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah, guy that yeah. And I think Gretsch freely gave him the guitar parts.
Okay.
To make it. It's not like it was hot, but
they
weren't made at the Gretsch factory.
Okay.
I like it better if it was
Gretsch
hot.
Well,
Sure.
maybe they were. Yeah. They're
Burn
totally
my
hot.
fingers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Burn my
fingers.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It worth $50. Yeah. I was listening to a bunch of oldie rock and roll stuff, and a Bo Diddley song came on. I'm like, man, not only does Bo sing about Bo more than anybody sang about themselves ever, Bo sings about giving some girl a wedding ring more than any other guy.
Bo got married a lot.
Yeah.
Or engaged.
Yeah, diamond ring was I'm going to get you a diamond ring. There's 4 or 5 Bo Diddley songs that got that lyric.
Yeah, to girls with "een" at the end of their name.
Yeah. Darlene. Yeah.
Charlene.
Arlene. Yeah, I was always
Maybelline.
like, why you got to put a specific woman's name in the song? So like Darlene.
There's probably a lot of girls that, you know, Bo did. Hey, I'm going to write a song. Yeah.
Darlene, baby, don't you give me no lip.
Yeah. Outstanding. Yeah. So I don't know if you are I don't know what to do if you can't get an American made guitar. You know, we'll send guitars all over the world. We've sent guitars to Germany, Australia, Norway, Canada. We've sent
Florida.
That's far away.
America's winning.
Have we sent guitars to any Asian countries?
I don't believe we have.
I don't know why that is. What's the matter, guys in Asia?
Sent guitars to Japan.
Okay.
Japanese guitars back.
Okay. All right.
I thought was funny.
Guys in Japan, you need to buy Texas Toast guitars.
You do.
That's all there is to it.
All the coolest Americans are buying.
Yeah. And each one comes with a breakfast burrito from the place down the street.
Taco
River.
River.
It probably shouldn't.
the place that we're not even sure what it's called.
Yeah, sometimes it's gordita and sometimes it's taco.
Yeah.
Whatever it is,
Taco
it's good.
River. We don't know. You know, the food's good.
All right.
SS says that Texas is a racial slur in Japan.
Texas is a racial slur in Japan?
That's what the man said. I'm just the middle guy.
That's peculiar. It seems like George Orwell missed it by about 50 years.
Yeah.
You know, it's like now, who was the comedian who said that people in millennial age people are emotional hemophiliacs these days, and like anything sets them off, and they just can't stop them.
Emotional hemophilia.
They just can't. Yeah, it's easy to be injured, and they can't stop.
One little nick, and they're just emotional.
I guess so. I don't know what. You know, Texas has a lot of neat stuff in addition to a lot of probably not so neat stuff, but a lot of places have a bad history but also have good things too.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, take for example West Virginia. I don't know anything about it, but yeah. All right.
We got that one song.
Yeah,
John Denver seemed to like it.
Seemed to like it just fine. Yeah. All right. Okay. By the way, never mind. I'm not going to say anything.
What?
Yeah, I'm not going to say anything about I'm not going to bring any World War II stuff up, but there's probably some people in Texas who think that Japan is still, not. And you know what? I don't judge. In the
local newspaper, they have a look back at history every day, and they have a headline from the local newspaper, and it varies, 40s, 50s, 60s, but usually lately they've been liking to do a lot of World War II stuff.
On this day, in 1943.
And they showed the local Rocky Mountain News
okay.
headline, and it had just the slur that nobody ever uses for Japanese people, and it was right there, right on top.
Starts with J or N?
No, starts with N.
Okay, all right. That was the headline?
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, and it was something about how America was just laying it to them.
Okay.
And it was like, holy cow.
And that was a long time ago, and the world is a different place now.
And they were looking to pump America up, but I just thought, I mean, I can sort of understand the abbreviation for Japanese.
Yeah.
I always thought that was slang and that you wouldn't necessarily use that in print. And here I am proved wrong once again.
Yeah. Of course, the Japanese people are super awesome. A lot of Japanese people fought in World War II on the side of the United States. Did you know that the president, after there was the intern camps, they're like, that's a bad idea. And they actually started a bunch of Japanese units that were very highly decorated.
I actually know a man that did that.
Wow, really? That's cool. Okay.
Yeah, my friend Scott's wife, Jody, her father
was
that guy.
That's cool. Okay.
Or was that guy.
Right on. So good for Jody's dad.
They went to an internment camp, and then he signed up.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah. Can you imagine?
I can, because America's a cool place, and people who live here think that America's cool.
I think that George Takei was in an internment camp.
Really?
I think he was.
Yeah. Okay.
All I know for sure is
As
we
a
did
small
not give
boy.
up when the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor.
You're asking what you're channeling is Bluto from.
Yeah, did I do it wrong?
Yeah, you said
Germany.
He said.
Yeah, I said it right.
Did they give up when?
Yeah. I take it back.
Go with it.
Yeah, we're just gonna go.
Yeah, move on.
Let's see. Doug Santanello says, what's incredible is some American Germans went and fought for Hitler, but Japanese were put in camp. It's weird, like how history, you never know what is going to happen in 4 or 5 years. And I feel weird sometimes about some of the stuff that happens in this country in this year, 2021. Did I get that right?
Yeah, I think so.
And people are still fighting wars from 70, 150 years ago, and that's too bad, because there's lots of great stuff that we have in common in the United States. And one of them is how much our guitars are better than anybody else's.
Yep. Suck it, Peru, and your guitar makers.
I bet you there's a lot of really awesome guitar. I don't have any idea, but yeah.
In Peru?
I don't know.
Peru's like the size of a postage stamp, I think.
So maybe they don't. Maybe it's all guitars. There.
It's all guitars all the time.
So let's focus. Thank you, Doug, for the super chat. America has a lot of history, and some of it's really awesome, and some of it's less awesome. To put it mildly.
One of my favorite things recently is learning of news stories that you never heard of before. Because history is written by the people who tell it.
Yeah.
And if so you hear the same stories over and over and over again, but there's a lot of stories that have been passed over.
Oh yeah.
And so you're just learning about them now, and you're like, holy cow, I had no idea that happened.
There's only so much they can fit in that
that's-
book that we had in high school.
Yeah, but so then you start thinking, well, how much of the history that I think I know do I actually know? How much of this is
skewed
and weighted one direction? Probably a lot of it is.
Probably a significant
But,
amount. Yeah.
You know, it is what it is. And
yeah.
But yeah, there's been some stuff here recently. I'm like, I had no idea that ever happened. Why would you not hear about that until now?
I don't know.
You know, and there's lots of evidence. It's not like somebody made it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
somebody had to make it up.
Yeah, and then
and then Doc and Veda came over from outer space.
Yeah, and gave us all $100 bucks.
But then Paul Solo saved everybody.
Yeah, and so, you know.
Yes, ma'am.
So Brad Hutchings.
Hey, Brad. Brad says history shows again and again how nature points out the folly of man.
I just beat out Jeffrey Egan for Go Go Godzilla on the reply.
That's awesome. Have you heard the Fu Manchu version of Godzilla? It's pretty good. So speaking of Paul Solo, the last thing I want to talk about today is a great American guitar builder.
Okay.
But first, I want to talk about the great American guitar store.
Okay.
That's right. Flipside Music, the great American guitar store. Guys, if you're ever in the Denver area and you want to check out the best guitar shop in town, check out Ike and the guys at Flipside Music and tell them Matt and Chris and Mrs. Toast sent y'all there. When they get their new building up and going, I've said it 100 million times. Mm-hmm. When they get the new building up and like loaded with stuff, it is going to be a destination for people who are guitar nerds.
It's gonna be like Disney World.
I think that I'm gonna see if I can encourage Ike to have a guitar nerd festival every year, right around 4th of July, the Great American Guitar Nerd Festival at Flipside Music, the Great American Ike, if you're watching, that's what I'm going to try to convince you to do. Also, we'd like to thank SweetT Guitars, guys, another great American paint company. If you are looking for something cool to paint your guitar with or to have us paint your guitar with, check out Todd at SweetT Guitars, and he will hook you up with all kinds of cool custom colors. What is it that makes a color so vibrant or so over the top, Chris?
So usually I think pearls.
Okay.
Make them really pop.
Well, like, why are
metallics.
some reds more expensive than other reds? Like,
well, I guess the colors that they put into it
like
are more expensive.
a base or something, or
well, yeah, it's just the colorant.
The red is the largest pigment.
Okay.
Like, so tattoos and hair dye.
Okay.
They don't really take in, like, green is the best. That
Okay.
is the smallest. Yeah.
All right. Well, there you go. Yeah, and the secret to it all is not putting in too much. Like you can overwhelm a color with pearl, and all of a sudden it gets milky.
Okay.
You don't want that.
That's not cool.
No. So you want it vibrant. You don't want it chalky.
Okay.
And milky looking. So.
Also, like to thank the great American hardwood company, Guitar Wood Experts. Thank you to Dan and Calvin at Guitar Wood Experts. And there's a discount code in the description below for Guitar Wood Experts too. Wood is going up, guys, and I don't think it's going to come down. It might come down a little bit, but I paid $4 a gallon for gas today. I'm not going to get into why, but I did. And actually, it was more than that. And
was it more than that?
Remember I said I don't want to get into why it was?
Okay. I want you to get into it.
All right. Because the place where I was on E for walk, and the place where I pulled into, they were like, sorry, no 85 or 87 octane. So all they had was the good,
89.
like the
wow,
big,
really?
Yeah. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to like get, a little bit and then go somewhere else. Screw it. I'm just going to fill up. And it was $60 some to fill up my car. So yeah. And if you live in California, it's probably really, really bad.
Yeah.
I hear that.
JC said it's only $2.59 here.
Where's that?
I don't know where he is,
okay.
but everything here is trucked from some port someplace else.
Yeah. So the truck, there's like,
Last time I
guess
checked,
it's
they're
hard to
making
get
gas here.
Yeah, I don't. Well,
But
they got to
gotta
get
truck the
something.
oil in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think they're digging up dinosaurs here or anything. But
Well, they pump the shit on the western slope.
do they still, or did
Yeah.
that get?
No,
Okay.
they still do.
Yeah.
But anyway.
All right, and of course, Bitterroot Guitars. Link in the description below for Bitterroot. Guys, if you think truss rods are cool as I do, check out what John and Cheryl have from Bitterroot Guitars, and discount code in the description below for them too. So
and they have lots of other stuff too. Look
tons
through
of great
Spend
stuff.
some time and just look through the website because they got all sorts of cool shit.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do, and they're cool people. If you don't like the website, or if you're not a web guy or girl, call them up, and John and Cheryl will talk to you and go, "Oh, we have this, this, and this." So they're really neat.
It's blue.
Yeah,
or it's green.
All right, so are we done with all of the that thing?
Uh-huh.
Chris, why do you think Paul Bigsby is the most important guitar builder in all of recorded history? Or
First of
maybe,
all, do I think
well,
that?
I just assumed you did.
Sure, for argument's sake, let's say I do.
Okay. Do you not?
I don't know.
Okay.
So the things that he came up with,
Mm-hmm.
he came up really, you could say that he's the father of the solid body guitar.
I could say that, and I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
You could say that he's also the first guy to come up with a tremolo system, a vibrato. I'm not sure which one I'm going to go with. That actually works.
A lot of people get that mixed up. They do not realize that vibrato and tremolo are two very different things. One is modulation of pitch, and one is modulation of volume.
Correct.
And I wonder what Paul Bigsby called his.
He called it a vibrato,
which is a modulation of pitch.
Correct. I think he was right.
I think Paul Bigsby was right.
And Leo Fender, who lived right around the corner
and
used
probably
to go over
knew.
there.
Yeah,
they
hung out.
Les Paul. They used to all meet at Les Paul's house.
And they would, so
That
Paul Bigsby,
Birth of Loud,
Les Paul, and Leo Fender would all hang out.
at Les Paul's house, and
I think that Paul Bigsby is the Brock of the electric guitar, and cumulatively Leo Fender and Les Paul are the Picassos of the electric guitar.
Sure.
And if you know your art history, you'll know what I'm talking about.
Yep. And Paul also made lap steels into pedal steels that actually functioned. And Leo Fender had quite an issue with trying to do that until he pretty much
copied the idea. Okay.
Once again,
we spend a lot of time here in like reveal videos and these videos talking about things that are speaking of history, worth and worthy of going and looking this stuff up,
right? And
kind of doing some deep diving into the history of the Fender Marauder, the Gibson Modern, the Hamer high mass bridge, the BC Rich factory from back in the 70s. And if you are not switched on to what Paul Bigsby did or who he is, and you want to deep dive into some guitar stuff while you're supposed to be working, whenever you have to go back to work next, the story about Paul Bigsby, if you could, there's lots of stuff. He pretty much did all of that cool stuff before Leo Fender and Les Paul did.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying he was the first guy, but he probably was the first guy in a lot of ways.
Yeah. Master machinist.
Yeah.
And could do anything, would do anything.
Yeah.
Advanced pickup design. All the other stuff that we talked about.
Things that we take for granted today, like picking up the phone and ordering stuff from John and Cheryl at Bitterroot. Paul Bigsby had to make all that stuff. There was nobody, hey, we've got 20,000 things at truss rods now and a bunch of pickup rings. No, Paul Bigsby had to make all that stuff. Yes, ma'am.
Kiwi Quarters wants to know, speaking of cool guitar stuff.
Okay.
Where did you get the switches for that Berserker?
Where did the switches come for that?
I brought them. The company that makes those switches is UID.
Now, UID does not pay us to say this.
Correct. They should.
They should.
So what I did was I looked up UID rocker, and I found a place that I might have actually ended up getting them on eBay, but I might have also got them because I ordered a bunch of switches, and
A lot of them
were
worked,
wrong.
and a lot of them didn't
Yeah,
work.
some
Right.
of them were just a little bit off.
And when I say worked, I mean fit in the plate.
Yeah, fit in the
sorry.
plate. Yeah, fit in the plate and fit in the because you have to offset all those switches. It's a whole lot of work. But anyway, they were made by UID, and I think I got them on eBay.
What were they originally designed for? Do you think?
I don't know.
Okay.
Famously Moog. That's what everybody calls that.
Yeah.
Switches. Oh, those are Moog switches.
I wonder.
I think that's just because it's a musical thing
Okay.
as well. But UID makes switches for everything, and still does. I think.
Oh, that was like a
Yeah.
company that you could have gotten them from back in the old days.
Yeah, I think it was the company
Okay,
that they
cool.
came from, and they're still around.
That's
in some form or another. So I don't think that the switches that I got were necessarily new old stock. They're just
They're just
white,
switches.
You can buy red, and you can buy. But it's The funny thing is there's no like place to find that stuff out. You have to just search and search and search and I even asked a bunch of people kind of in the know, and a guy's like, yeah, these are the ones I used. I'll send you a bunch. And he sent me a bunch, and they were the wrong switch.
Totally wrong.
And I was
Okay.
like, okay, yeah, all right. So,
That guitar took a lot of it was
we
a
knew
lot
it
of
was going
headache,
to, yeah.
and I'm glad that
Yeah.
it's done, and I don't want to make very many of those ever again,
Yeah.
if
So
ever again at all.
there were 7 of those switches, and they sell them in lots of 5.
Okay.
So I have 3 extra.
Ooh, 3 extras. That's a cool quote to read on the 4th. Thanks for sharing, Mrs. Toast. He was for sure thinking ahead. And who is that, love?
Abraham Lincoln.
Abraham Lincoln. That's my wife's total Abraham Lincoln. Yeah. All right. So let's go ahead and wrap this up. I have to get home and make sure that my dog doesn't totally freak out. Guys, have a great 4th of July. If you're going to mix alcohol and fireworks, I hope that you blow off your finger or something, or burn your house down. Don't be a jerk. That's not cool. So yeah. You know what? I'm not going to mix alcohol and fire things. That's a job best left to
That's
the
against the
professionals.
law, even
Yeah.
without the alcohol.
So I've done a lot of dumb stuff, but I don't mix alcohol and firearms or fireworks or explosives of any kind. I don't think that's a good thing to do. I'm all for turning money into noise, but yeah. So anyway, Mrs. Toast, do you have anything before we go?
Nope.
Chris, you have anything before we go?
Stay safe.
All right,
Have
guys,
fun.
have a great 4th of July. Happy Independence Day to everyone fortunate enough to be spending your time here on the 4th of July in the United States of America. We certainly have a lot of fun hanging out with you guys and love to do it every single Saturday. Are you doing me again?
No.
You're why you got to do me like that?
Well, I'm just excited.
How do you want me to look?
Yes. No.
I'm just excited at how many people are here on this, party day.
We
It's a
figured we'd
party
get them
day,
right
yeah.
before they go out and
It's a
blow
big
up the
barbecue
neighborhood.
day, though.
Yeah, don't blow up the
Barbecue,
neighborhood. Don't drink
or-
and drive, any of that stuff. So, guys, this is Matt at Texas Toast reminding you that life is short. You might as well have a cool guitar. Stay safe. Have a great holiday weekend. We'll see you guys later on this week. Thanks for watching, y'all.